What is going on, guys? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today I'm recapping the New York Jets against the New York Giants. Final preseason game. We have made it. It is over, and now we could focus on the regular season. But let's go through and talk about some of the big talking points and keynotes from this game against the New York Giants. First and foremost, the Giants start with the ball. It's a very big day for the New York Jets because their starters are playing on both sides of the ball, so something to keep note of. First play, the holding penalty, and then JJ gets flagged. JJ being Jermaine Johnson gets flagged for a hit out of bounds. If that's a hit, I don't know what is a hit, because even the Giants broadcast team was saying that is incredibly weak. He basically is pinky grazed Tyrod Taylor's jersey, and you would have thought Tyrod got sniped and took a little bit of a dive, but he gets the call. Anyway, Michael Carter, unreal tackle. And then the Jets would force a punt. So here we go. Aaron Rodgers making his debut with the New York Jets. First play, screen to Garrett Wilson. Get used to that. They are going to force feed Garrett Wilson in a good way. That is a positive thing. Get the ball in his hands, please. Then on the next play, Randall Cobb laid a huge block, but it would get called for a penalty, so the play would come back. Isaiah Simmons forces a pressure. Michael Carter had no chance picking up the blitz there, and the New York Jets would punt. Jets defense dominates once again. Solomon Thomas tackle for a loss, blowing up the play. You had the Sauce Gardner PBU, and then Jermaine Johnson with the third down sack. Things you love to see. 3 plays in a row, nice and easy, 3 and out. How you doing? Just keeping it really simple and getting the ball right back, and the Jets would go on a nice long drive. You'd have a Michael Carter run a little bit to the right side, tried to go to CJ Uzomah, pass was too high. Garrett Wilson draws a DPI, and then you'd get Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson on the fade route touchdown. Oh my God, could that ball have been put in a better place? No, you could not have paused time and walked the ball over to Garrett Wilson and placed it in his hands any better than what Aaron Rodgers threw that ball. I can't get over that pass. Jets go up 7-0. And the starters on both sides of the ball, excluding the offensive line. Offensive line would get another series, but pretty much starters would leave at that point, and the Jets go up 7-0. Backups come in. You'd have a big play to former Jet Lawrence Cager, and then Brandon Echols. Remember him? He was a starter for the Jets in 2021. Well, he gets a pick 6 and puts the Jets up 14-0. Giants get the ball right back. Bryce Huff doing his thing. He gets a sack on third down. Death taxes Bryce Huff getting after the quarterbacks on third down. Yes, I understand it's against the second-team Giants offense, does not matter. He beats first-teamers, second-teamers, third-teamers. This is what he does. He has insane get-off on the line of scrimmage when the ball is snapped. It's part of the reason why he's such an efficient pass rusher, and please extend Bryce Huff to be the third down and pass rush specialist for this New York Jets football team for the foreseeable future. For the next couple years would be really nice. Zach Wilson comes in, first-team offensive line stays in, which is obviously a big thing of note. Xavier Gipson would have a drop in this spot, and the Jets would be forced to punt. Xavier Gipson, weird game. Mostly good, but he had a drop, and then there's a ball later on in the game that he probably should have caught from Zach Wilson, but when he gets the ball in his hands, keyword when, he is electric. Giants drive a little bit next possession. Sills picks up the first down. You'd have an end around for a big game, driving the field a little bit. Former Jet Jamison Crowder picks up the first down. He was wide open down to the 1-yard line, and then Corbin runs it in to put the Giants in place of getting back into this game a little bit, 14-7 at this point. Joe Tippmann comes in at center, so safe to say the knee is feeling okay. Xavier Gipson, again, another one that was kind of a borderline drop. Jets punt. So right back to the New York Giants. Huge run from James Robinson for 28 yards. A lot of former Jets on this Giants team, right? James Robinson, Jamison Crowder, I said Lawrence Cager. And that's not to mention guys like Jason Pinnock and Leonard Williams. There's a lot of former Jets on this team. But anyway, so you'd have that big run from James Robinson, and then you would get a long 57-yard field goal to get the Giants closer, 14-10. Zach puts a really good throw on a ball to Mecole Hardman on this next possession, but it's dropped. This was really the only shot down the field that Zach Wilson took. Goes off Mecole Hardman's hands. It looked like Hardman hurt his finger on the play, and that was part of the reason why he couldn't come up with it. But with how nice of a ball that Zach put on him, that's one that you'd really like him to get in a perfect world. But we'll keep an eye on the injury as he went off the field and did not return. The starters weren't playing at that point, so was not expecting him to make a return. Giants next possession, Bryce Hall, DPI. Man, the fall for Bryce Hall has been tough to watch. Loved him his first 2 years in the league. Regressed last year. Is looking like a borderline roster player this year. Not good. I thought DeVito was playing pretty nice for the Giants at this point. They end up settling for 3. So it would be 14-13 going into the half. A tight game. In the second half of this game, Jets start with the ball. Zach Wilson's driving him down the field. A couple of quick completions. Nice pitch and catch to Xavier Gibson. The drive stalls, but they would settle for 3, a 17-13 lead now for the New York Jets. This is where, to me, in the second half, Xavier Gibson really came alive and looked much, much better. Giants get the ball right over midfield, and then you get a Graham Gano 56-yarder. So he had a 57 and a 56-yarder. Man, that guy's an absolute weapon. He is automatic. Here we go. The Xavier Gibson show continues. He picks up a big first down, makes a couple guys miss. Then you'd hit Jason Brownlee, who's also fighting for a roster spot for 17 yards. And then this was really the one ugly Zach Wilson throw today, which is really frustrating because it could have been an E.J. Jenkins touchdown. I don't know where that throw was going. It was a really bad ball from Zach Wilson on third down. So the Jets, unfortunately, were forced to punt. The Giants go 3 and out, and they end up punting right back to the Jets. And this is where Tim Boyle comes in. And Tim Boyle comes in, finds Xavier Gibson on third down for a big gain. Gibson again. Erickson gets him inside the 10. And then Boyle would find Erickson for his first touchdown of the day. Jets go to 2. They find Xavier. I almost said Xavier Gibson again. But instead it was Jason Brownlee. Jason Brownlee on the 2-point conversion. 25-16. The Jets go up. Giants offense stalls yet again, so they would Jets force a punt. Big play to Irv Charles, 30 yards, and then Erickson another touchdown. How about that? A 2-touchdown day for Erickson, who's, again, maybe he's someone who could fight for a roster spot. The Jets kind of have you would think 2 options, right? Or 2 open positions, right? For the wide receiver 5 and 6, and you have Xavier Gibson, Jason Brownlee, Alex Erickson, Malik Taylor if he's healthy. There's a few options for the Jets to go with in that spot for in the short term. Irv Charles is even another one who you could maybe make a case for. But I thought Xavier Gibson was really the one who showed out in this spot. So 32-16. Then you would have the Giants go on one long final drive. DeVito hit Sills for a 30-yard touchdown. Shelton was cooked on that play and then had a penalty on the 2-point conversion. Not ideal. And the Giants would end up converting to make it a 32-24 game. They try to do the onside kick, but unable to recover. So the New York Jets hang on to win 32-24. So to take a look at some of the numbers here going through for the quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers starts, goes 5 of 8, 47 yards, 5.9 yards per attempt. He had 1 touchdown, a 118.2 rating. Zach Wilson, 11 of 18, 107 yards, 5.9 yards per attempt, no touchdowns, no picks, a 77.8 rating. Tim Boyle, 9 of 11, 107 yards, 9.7 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, 146.8 rating. He looked very, very good today. Run game kind of struggled, 19 carries for 41 yards on the day, 2.2 yards per attempt. Michael Carter, 4 carries for 1 yard, not ideal. Zonovan Knight led the way on 7 carries for 22 yards. It was the Xavier Gibson and Alex Erickson show. Xavier Gibson, 7 catches, 79 yards. Alex Erickson had 5 for 38 and 2 touchdowns. Both of those guys stood out. By the way, on the 2 drives for the New York Jets, you had 3 catches for Garrett Wilson, 30 yards on 3 targets. So he caught all of his targets and a touchdown. So it's time. We are now ready for the start of the regular season, but exciting game here for the New York Jets. Most important thing, they got out of this one injury-free for the most part on the starters. Mecole Hardman got banged up, but you know on the first 2 possessions with the key starters in, there were no injuries. Hardman got hurt later on in the game. So that's going to do it for me. Let me know in the comments your biggest takeaway from this one. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you next time.